Okay, that's it for the presentations, correct?
That's correct.
Trustee Petrikov?
Okay, we're now on to action items. Are there any agenda items on this agenda which board members or the superintendent wish to discuss and vote on separately? If there are, we will exclude these from the motion below.
Are there supplements beyond what's?
Yes.
Yes, we have 21 items.
21.
There is a sheet here that adds 4 more items
Okay.
that are hot off the press, and Dr. Maleko will introduce a couple of people tonight. Trustee Berry, you were going to say?
Can we pull number 6, please?
Number 6. Okay, we will pull number 6, and number 13 requires a roll
I was going
call.
to say, isn't there some, roll
Yes,
call?
there is a
Yeah.
closed session, yes. So, all right, so let's do the first group first, then number 6, and then number 13.
All right, so we're polling number 6, correct? For
Yes.
you to- Okay,
Yes.
just want to make sure. Move that action items number 1 through 21, with the exception of 6, be approved as recommended, with the exception of 6 and 13.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, can I attach a unanimous vote, affirmative vote to this part of the agenda?
Yes.
Looks like
Yeah.
everyone's in agreement, okay.
Okay, you want me to
So
read
Trustee
this
Petrikov
summary?
will now read a summary of those items.
Number 1, approval of warrants. Number 2, approval of a contract with Payroll Sports for non-DFT coaches. Number 3, approval of a lease agreement with Parkside Church and Littlefield Presbyterian Church. Number 4, approval of a contract with Melcast Educational Consulting. Number 5, approval of contract to Eagle Contracting Services per Board Report 1713. Number 7 through 10, approval of non-instructional and instructional personnel items for P12. Number 11, approval of 2017 summer school graduates. Congratulations. Number 12, approval of study session open high school capacities, Tuesday, August 29th, 2017, at 5 p.m. I'm assuming here in the Frank Franchi boardroom. Number 14, approval of the contract of the exempt administrators be extended 2 years, expiring on June 20th, 2019. Number 15, approval of the contracts of the non-classified, non-instructional staff and exempt administrative secretaries at P12 be extended 2 years, expiring on June 20th, 2019. 16, approval of the resolution to oppose the elimination of Title II-A funding as stated in Board Report 1718. 17, approval of donations. 18, approval of contract changes per Board Report 1719. 19, approval of a contract to Lutz Roofing and Schreiber Roofing for emergency roofing per sealed bid 1304. 20, approval of appointment of Coordinator 1, Special Education. And 21, approval of appointment of Assistant Principal at Woodworth.
Dr. Maleko, before we go on, I think you wanted to introduce.
So if I could first introduce and congratulate, I'm going to ask Courtney Pletsky to come up, a new coordinator for special education. We can congratulate her for she just got approved. Very excited to have her on the team.
Thank you. I'd just like to say thank you to the board and to Dr. Maleko for giving me this opportunity. I've been with Dearborn Schools since I started my career in education, and I look forward to continuing to serve our students and our community in this new capacity. Thank you.
Great.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
And we have Miss Samantha Lamberti, the new assistant principal at Woodworth Middle School. Congratulations.
I'd also like to say thank you to the board and to Dr. Maleko. It's been my joy to serve Dearborn students for the past 10 years. I was an administrative intern this year, and I'm really grateful for the chance to just teach and learn in that capacity, and look forward to joining the team and supporting over at Woodworth.
Great, thank you.
Okay,
So,
now,
number 6.
Number 6, award of contracts. Sealed bids were received and opened for 2017 ASC video production studio equipment upgrade. The district has tabulated and reviewed the bids and has summarized the bids and recommendations for the award of the contracts. A summary and recommendation is shown below. Recommended action. Move that the board award a contract to AVI SPL in the amount of $285,966.09 for ASC video production studio equipment upgrade in accordance with sealed bid 1325.
Okay. So, here it is. Does someone want to move to accept this?
I'll move it.
Okay, and I'll second. Okay.
Okay,
Trustee
discussion, yeah.
Barry.
I did give Tom the heads up on this. I think, Dr. Malik, you stepped out of that meeting. I always look into it when we only receive one bid back on a contract. What was the process of sending these RFPs here?
I could probably tell you, but Mr. Krasinski was polite enough to sit through the whole meeting, so I'll let him
Thank you,
talk
sir.
about, because he oversees all our trades and labor contracts.
Okay.
Most of the construction you see, Tim oversees. And I'm sure David Mustin here can also answer some of it, because his project for this.
I appreciate it, thank you.
So what we did is we got Dave and his staff together with a consultant to look at the equipment needs for the video production as we move into the social media, Instagram, all the great stuff that we're into now. So we had a consultant talk with Dave and his staff and get a cross-section of what kind of equipment we'd might need. We then reached out to people in the industry and ran through to make sure it was a relevant list of equipment, and then put it out to bid. When we put it out to bid, we obviously notify the larger vendors in the area, in this case Sound Engineering, along with AVL, a couple others. You know, it's the market right now. The equipment cost was within the range, and I think the reason that we had one no bid and 2 no responses, I believe it was. They're just busy. It's committing the labor, it's not the equipment. It's that price includes installation, programming, software, all that set up additionally.
Okay, I did not reach out to Sound Engineering or Tel Systems, but I did recognize KLA Laboratories. They are a local company within
Sure.
Dearborn.
Yep.
I did a little bit of homework, and they're a member of the Dearborn Chamber of Commerce. Somebody did call me back and told me that they didn't receive any information
We
whatsoever.
can get you that information, but we reach out in writing it by fax, and the purchasing department keeps those documents for just these cases to show that we did reach out.
So you do have something in writing that somebody received? What we
Well, I
sent
have
out,
the
or-
records at our purchasing department, the fax number that they sent it to, and who the contact is there. So I can find that, I can get that information.
And is this something that's time sensitive?
Time sensitive in that,
Something we have to do right away?
I don't know that right away is we're trying to move forward on
This
all
is
of our
not a small
projects.
contract,
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's a critical need for it.
I mean, if we had to send it back out for rebids, maybe try to get the, people
We-
to sharpen their pencils a little
Sure.
bit? Is that something?
We can do that. What I would say is those that chose not to respond then have the advantage of seeing their competitors' number.
I thought about that too,
You
yeah.
know, so it's I don't know exactly how much savings we could get. Again, I don't think the equipment costs are that different. It's in the sort of the budget range we were looking at. It's the availability of the installers that is the catching point on the vendor issues.
Have we done business with this company, AVI, before?
Not since I've been here. They are a bigger company, as is Sound Engineering. KLA, I think they do some work for technology, is that right? The technology, and they did a lot of work through the bond issue.
And you feel like this number is within,
It's within the range that we established, and that we had verified by, other people in the industry that it was a reasonable
okay.
expectation.
I'm comfortable with that, but hopefully for the future, when we get just one bid back, maybe we can just look into it a little further, maybe something.
Part of the issue now is we've kind of transitioned where the state required us to put an ad in the dispatch or a written paper.
Okay.
And we don't really have those written papers anymore. We put it on state websites, but that doesn't always reach local vendors. If there's some way that we could come up that would be a good strategy to reach local vendors, I'm absolutely think we would look at adding it to our purchasing procedures.
It's
Okay.
our communications department. Mr. Segre is here. Did you want to add something,
I
or?
just thought I would be out here just in case
Oh, okay, I was going to say, I mean, this is
For
kind of
backup,
your
right?
specialty too, so.
What I would like to say is that a lot of the companies that do this are based out of New York and California that do these big installs. And if we were to get one of those, I would probably say it would cost us $400,000 for the same deal. And Systems was working with us, and they were in the midst of putting out a bid. They laid off the salesman who was basically dealing with us, and then they dropped out of it.
So there's the answer for that one.
So,
And his numbers were comparable with AVI's numbers when he was.
Well, two things caught my attention. Actually, obviously, just because there's one bid that came back, and the other one that we had a local company, within the boundaries of Dearborn, which, we want to support our own. That's why I wanted to get some more information, but I am comfortable moving forward with this, with
Okay,
board
it's okay.
approval.
So it was a
So,
fair question.
All right, yep, and I appreciate the input. We even have to drag somebody from out of the back room, so thank you for contributing.
He wanted to, he's been
Yeah,
waiting to
good.
contribute.
equipment since 2004.
That was going to be my question, is how long has it been since we've done
Actually, as a matter of fact,
upgrade?
I wanted to make a note under future agenda items. Quite a few of us noted at the high school honors assemblies
sound
and at
system.
graduation that we have an issue with some of our sound systems
system.
inside and outside.
Yep.
We actually took a consultant to the high schools just last week to evaluate the sound in Fordson and Etzel Ford.
Yes.
And we used the Dearborn's system that was installed with the bond monies as the model. So we've got a consultant working on a specification for us right now. Once we get those done, we are also going to cross-reference. I know we have an issue at the Etzel Ford cafeteria, and I think Dearborn High School cafeteria also. So through Dr. Maleko's direction and Tom's direction, we've been pursuing that.
Great, wow,
Thank you.
you're all
Thank you
over
very
it.
much.
Love that.
We are excited because we know we need upgrades in this room. This room is heavily used in just the sound system and, with our social media, our media outreach. And I appreciate the board bringing that, priority to my attention, and Tom and his team got on it right away with, speccing out
Well,
the
that's another thing.
auditorium.
Now we have a little bit of breathing space in our budget, and we all know that we have been just on a lean budget, and these are the type of things that we fall behind on. We need to maintain our infrastructure.
Maybe we should consider a backup generator for here, too.
Well, and that was, yeah, when
boy.
it,
So we're
We
not
got a long list. Be
videotaping by
careful
cell
there.
phone light.
yeah, and I think I did mention
Yes,
it
you
today. I
did.
think I jinxed us because I told them I could just picture the power going out in the middle of the meeting. I said it in the morning. And we remember the click, click, click. And then, and I know that was a tough day for
That was
everyone, too.
DTE
Yeah.
outside,
Yeah,
just
so-
cutting the wires.
Yeah, and I will put it on the cabinet agenda just to review the communication with the bids, so appreciate bringing that to
So
my
trustee
attention.
Berry, you're satisfied
Yes,
with this?
yes, I am.
And
Yes.
can I attach a unanimous
Unanimous.
affirmative to
Yes.
that? Okay,
Yes.
good. Then
Okay,
let's
so
move
now
to
to
13.
13. Calling for a P12 executive session closed. Move that an executive session be held on Monday, September 11th, 2017, at 5:30 PM in the Franchi Boardroom at the Administrative Service Center. The purpose of the meeting, which is a closed meeting, is to discuss litigation per Section 8E of the Michigan Opens Meeting Act.
Support? Okay, we need a roll call.
All right, I got it.
We cannot, and I believe trustee
Trustee
Berry should
Berry's-
not vote
right.
on this because of conflict of interest
So I'm excused from that meeting then.
from this vote. Yes,
And
you
from
heard
the
me.
meeting.
Yeah, but we're moving along, so yes, and from the meeting as well. Yes, correct. Thank you.
Trustee Hamud?
Yes.
Trustee Nasser?
Yes.
Trustee Mead?
Yes.
Trustee Petlicoff, yes. Trustee Thorpe is absent. President Lane.
Yes, motion carries unanimously. All right, so next item then will be discussion
Item. Boundary line changes, school of choice and boundary line exemption, Dearborn High School addition. Well, I guess it's going to be, let's see here, Mr. Wall and Miss Ali Bazzi.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Hi, good evening. We just wanted to keep it on the front of everyone's minds that we
Like
have
it's
a
not.
board. Yeah, exactly. Like we have a board study session scheduled for August 29th from 5 to 9 p.m. here in the boardroom. We have the consultants from Plant Moran and also Middle Cities joining us that evening. The board has been provided with the final draft of the Plant Moran study. It's been about, 2 weeks now since we provided that. And then the Middle City study report was given to you a while back as well. So just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware that we've got that scheduled.
Good.
No new information.
I thought you were going to come up with some great,
Oh, no. It's a one-slider.
Good. Trustee Barry?
And I believe you said that will be taped because I will
Yes.
be out of town that day.
It won't be live, but it'll be taped and it'll be
Taped,
put on the
featured,
YouTube,
okay,
yeah,
Thank you.
and then replayed.
Trustee Barry,
And
we
are-
could,
oh, I'm sorry.
we could Skype you in.
What's that?
Did you say you'll be out of town?
Yeah.
You're
Yes.
too kind. It's
We
okay.
could do a Google
I'll
Hangout.
watch it later.
Okay. From the beach?
No beaches for me.
I was just going to mention too, Ms. Harris is putting together a folder for all the information that you would need for that board meeting, so you have access to all the data. And nothing will be new, other than the only thing would be new is maybe some new recommendations in line with the new data that we're going to present, but the board will have, be able to see that in advance, so.
And that'll be important because we do have a tight timeline if we're going to save money, and I think the amount is, what are we looking at, $500,000 if we make the decision too late, and,
Okay, that's debatable how much, but it's not going to be small. correct?
yeah, so we need to move on this.
we need to,
Good.
come to some kind of
Yep, decisions.
decision.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Secretary
Okay,
Petchikoff?
Board of Education Business, acknowledgement of correspondence.
Not much right now, it's still summer, it's quiet.
God.
That's about to end.
Yeah, it's fast coming to a close. Board member committee and organization reports.
So, I know
We had the
trustee Hamud
finance
has,
and the
let's
policy.
have trustee Hamud,
Yeah.
if you don't mind, I know we're trying to wind it up.
Well, we did have a policy committee meeting today. One of the policies that will be up for a discussion item at our next meeting is going to be the student seclusion and restraint policy. So far, why this policy is important now is the state of Michigan just passed this policy to take effect this 2017-2018 school year. So we want to make sure that we are in compliance, that we have this policy. And the good news is, we already have this policy in place. Everything that's in the policy is something we already do. And even further, it fits directly within our restorative practices that we do here at Dearborn Public Schools. The only thing that's going to be different is that we would hope that everyone that works in the district would get a training.
Training, yeah.
Yep, would get training on the new policy for the emergency use of seclusion and restraint. And we'll have more information on that at the next meeting. We did also touch on a policy for district curriculum. We didn't really go in depth into that, but it's just a heads up that that's another policy that we are going over and will hopefully bring forward to the board. That's about it.
Finance?
Yeah, Finance Committee also met before this meeting. We went over, we sat down with our auditors. They're going to start the process, looking to finish it probably sometime in October. The committee will be meeting with them a little bit more often, but they told me to share with the board and the audience and employees. If there are any issues or anything that you might be concerned with, let me know, or if it's something that you want it to become confidential, I will turn over the information to Mr. Jeffrey Higgins. So that was the first part. The second part, Mr. Walls has discussed with us some of our options. I'm not going to get into them, but some of our options if we have to go.
Financial
depending on
options.
the financial options, and depending on what we decide to do with the capacity options. The other thing is to be on our next agenda is we are going to look at some of our major vendors and probably get them to sharpen their pencils, save some money. Maybe if the contracts are near the end, we'll probably get them rebid. So, is there anything else?
No, that's about it for the summary.
Okay.
Okay, but that caveat goes actually to the general public. If
Yes.
anyone is aware of any financial irregularities or
That they
malfeasant.
would
that
like
they-
investigated.
If they want something investigated, again, it's part of transparency for all public schools. and we comply with that. So please do be in contact with any member of the Finance Committee or with Plant Moran, our auditors, so.
That's right, thank you.
Good, thank you. And I think the City Relations Committee?
Well, I reported on that the last time, yeah.
So is there any change, or do you want to update on that?
No,
on
I
Lori
did
parking?
have,
think
I
there's
do
something
know
that's
that Mr.
changed.
Wall,
Mr. Wall
yeah.
is here.
The parking,
The parking at Lori?
Yes, I did have a follow-up conversation with Mr. Patel, the city engineer, on Friday. We went through what his thinking was as he was looking through it. I did contact our legal counsel to see what options we have available. He asked for the actual reference of the standards that Mr. Patel was referencing because he really can't tell until he knows exactly that. So I've emailed Mr. Patel today to give us the reference of the documents of the decision-making of why, we had to actually move forward with a different parking at Lowry, and I'm waiting for that response.
And I also have made contact with the mayor, per our city relations subcommittee, in order to have some better clarification, because the conversation we had at that time was that they would look into what was the set of standards that we were being held accountable for, and if it was really necessary, or that if we could look at being grandfathered in. I haven't yet heard back. I'm sure he's very busy, and I only tried to contact him over the weekend. So I will update everyone as soon as I get some information from that way. I'm hoping that we can get a little better understanding of where we stand on this before we have to cut a check.
Good, thank you.
And the city's working with us, so it's not like
Yes.
they're not responding, but, obviously, they have a full business run, we have a full business run, it just takes time to go
Right.
through this process.
Yeah, we appreciate the partnership with them. I think we're very, as the committee meeting showed,
Right.
that we're working in a lot of areas. We talked about, the drug prevention model to other things, and it's nice that we do have this collaborative model, so.
And we're just all trying to work for everybody's best interests.
Okay, I think that's it for committees.
Okay, board member or superintendent commentary?
I would just note that for any of the district personnel who might be watching, Dr. Jensen's loss, he lost his mother recently. So for those people who may have worked with him, if you want to get in touch with the college, you can express your condolences, and we would do that publicly as well. Very sorry for his loss. So I will be absent at the September 18th meeting at the college, and Dr. Mead will chair the meeting for me. Those are the only things I wanted to mention. Anybody have anything else?
I just wanted to state that we had another successful homecoming a few weekends ago. The homecoming is really basically a fundraiser for all of our local nonprofit organizations. Trustee Barry was there for his youth football group. My husband is a member of the Forts and Varsity Alumni Club, where they fundraise for their endowed scholarship at Henry Ford College that goes only to Fortson students. So they had quite a success. They had a band there that was quite popular called Styx. Drew a large crowd. I didn't stay for that part of the event, but Healthy Dearborn was also present and participating. So it was a huge turnout over that weekend. Great weather, and so I congratulate the partnership once again between the city and the community in their efforts to provide opportunities for everyone to be successful.
Just to follow up on homecoming, also Dearborn Public Schools had a tent within the
Yep.
community tent, and Dearborn Federation, I got you. Dearborn Federation teacher was there, and they were there pretty much all day. It was a great,
Yes,
a
they
great weekend.
Yeah.
Yes, they were, and I can't believe I was there all 3 days and missed you.
Yeah, I don't know.
every day.
Yeah, it was a great event. I just reiterate that, and we were able to give out over 800 books with the DFT and the school district. With
Yes,
the
actually,
Rose
my granddaughter
Coalition.
got one of the
Very
books.
popular tent that day.
So, and my children love going to homecoming, so we had a great time.
Not if you know people.
Could I also just, two things, again, very excited for the start of school on September 5th. I know we've had that, but excited to have our students come back. And I do want to mention we have a new grandmother, Dr. Chokol, so congratulations to her. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes. Wow. Very nice. Okay, so it looks like we're ready to wrap up this meeting. Trustee Petchikoff?
Well, requests for information and/or future agenda items.
Trustee Barry?
I'm glad Tom's still here. I got a couple of questions, and like I said in the last meeting, I'll just ask direct questions instead of ask for reports or beat around the bush. My question is regarding the house school sale, okay? In the real estate business, we call it the lead. I'd like to find out at what point did the purchaser come forward? And what was my other question? Was that, at that point, was that building being marketed? If we have the answers today, it's fine. If not, we can wait on them.
I'd rather research it, 'cause I don't know exactly.
I would expect, that's why usually I would ask for reports. I guess I did receive a phone call from my fellow realtors, and they had those questions. So I'll just wait for the information. I'll just have some follow-up questions. Thank you.
Good. Is that it?
Yes.
All right. Let's finish her up then.
Okay, future meeting dates. Tuesday, August 29th, 2017, P12 study session, open, high school capacity, 5 p.m. at the Administrative Service Center in the Frank Franchi Boardroom. Monday, September 11th, 2017, P12 executive session closed for litigation, 5:30 p.m. at the Administrative Service Center in the Frank Franchi Boardroom. Monday, September 11th, 2017, P12 Board of Education meeting, 7 p.m. at the Administrative Service Center in the Frank Franchi Boardroom.
Hold it. Trustee Petchikoff, we're missing the policy committee in there also.
Is,
The
when
HFC
is,
Policy Committee, September 18th at 6 o'clock.
okay.
Yeah, that's going to be a standing committee meeting, so.
Okay, HFC
yeah.
policy at 6.
At 6 o'clock, and that will be in the President's Conference Room at the college.
Okay, HFC Policy Committee meeting, 6 p.m., President's Conference Room
At Henry Ford
at
College.
Henry Ford. Well, HFC, kind
Yeah.
of.
Okay.
And then Monday, September 18th, 2017, HFC meeting, 7 p.m. at the Andrew Mazzara Services and Conference Center in the Rosenau Boardroom, Henry Ford College.
Okay, thank you, everyone. We're adjourned.